Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Me, Violet, and Soap all made a Discord server. Everyone want to say hello?
Hello.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah, so we all made a Discord server for our YouTube channels. And so if you guys want to join in, here's what we got. We got the memes only, the Honeyland, we got we got some next video ideas, some fan fiction, some gaming, and some fan art going on. We also got some voice chats going on as well. It's still a work in progress, so please give it time. We are still trying to figure everything out. But please come join it if you are willing to. I'll put the link down in the description. Same with Violet's YouTube channel as well. Please go check her out as she is one of my editors. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. So, I just found this new book for us to read. It is called Celestial Bodies, Sun and Moon X Reader. It is by the Ruby Quill. It is only 22 parts, and it looked like it was just updated on April 3rd, so it might not be quite done yet, but it will take us a while to get through this book. So, we got time. So this is just a warning. I have to disclose this. Mature topics may include dubious consent, non-consent, consent, non-consent, violence, parental abuse, graphic sexual scenes. So those are the warnings, and if you guys do not like it, I would highly advise not to watch this. 1. New life. The sound of your favorite song is the first thing you hear, soon becoming muffled as you throw your pillow over your head. The alarm set for 6 a.m., so you would have plenty of time to get ready for your big day, the first day of your new job. What's going off loudly on your nightstand? 5 more minutes, you mumble. As you continue to squish the pillow over your head, you snuggle deeper into the warmth of your blanket in bed, not wanting to leave the warm cotton embrace. The thought of getting up and dealing with coldness of your apartment sounded dreadful to you, but the thought of being late to your first day sounded even more dreadful. With a sigh, you open your eyes and sit up, rubbing them as you slowly take in your surroundings. Your apartment was small, dingy place, which was always somehow freezing in the morning. There were small cracks in the bricks of the wall in your room, which always made you sigh a little when you looked at them. Your room had a few decorations, mostly barren except for the small amount of furniture you managed to get. The rest of the apartment was a similar story, but that's to be expected when you first move in somewhere, especially especially so when you're starting your life from scratch. As you get off your small futon bed, you walk into the bathroom, recalling how you got to this place. The last night back home, if you would call it that, where the final straw broke and you decided you had to leave. You remember sending your college the email that you were dropping out while on the bus to your new city. It scared you leaving behind everything you knew, but it scared you more to stay with your family. Staring into the mirror, you can't help but smile. It may not look perfect, but the freedom you have gained was exhilarating. Today you are going to start your first real job, besides babysitting for your parents' friends. You were forced to not work by your parents. They said it was so you had to focus on school, but you knew the real reason was so you were forced to depend on them. You decided to wash up before eating breakfast, getting into the shower. It felt so good, the hot water on your skin. And as you washed yourself, you hummed the same sound from your alarm clock. You suddenly stepped stopped, though, when you accidentally touched the bruise on the side of your stomach. It didn't hurt as much anymore, but the emotional pain from that night washed over you. The way your father hit you through the way your father hit you, threw you down and kicked your side. The bruise was a reminder why you left, and a has a tear rolled down your cheek. You quickly wiped it away. I have to be strong, you whispered as you got out of the shower. Your new life was beginning, and you had no room for the past. You quickly got dressed and made your way into the kitchen, checking the time. Somehow it was already 7 a.m., shocking you. You have 5 extra minutes. Must have been longer than you thought. Your shift starts at 7:30, so you quickly grabbed an apple and ran out the door. The building seems to loom over you as you pulled into the parking lot. Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex, you mumbled as you read the large sign on the front of the building. You didn't think you'd find yourself ever working at a place like this, but with your new life, you needed a job fast, and they were hiring with no experience needed. Although you found it odd, they didn't require job experience for an assistant daycare attendant. You had applied for this position as your only working experience was babysitting before. You hoped this job wouldn't be too difficult. Walking into the big front doors, you're greeted by a blonde woman with a very annoyed expression. She looked like a security guard and had a name tag with Vanessa on it. Finally, she said, I've been waiting for you to show up. Her annoyance made you anxious as you sheepishly replied, oh, I'm sorry. I thought my shift started at 7:30. It does, but don't you know being early is a good employee behavior? They made me stay past my shift to give you your security badge, she grumbled. You looked at the floor like you were a kid who just got a talking to for doing something bad. Sorry, you said as you respond to her grumbles. Often you would say sorry, as if you were on autopilot. You felt bad for Vanessa having to stay late for you. Although you knew that wasn't your fault. You felt apologetic anyways, though. Anyways, here is your security badge. I'll have the day shift guard take you to the daycare center. They'll they'll give you your uniform and meet the daycare attendant, Vanessa muttered. You took the pass from her and nervously replied, Thank you. Wait here, she said as she started to walk off while speaking something into her walkie-talkie. You tried to wave goodbye, but she ignored you, making you feel a ting sad. Your first co-worker interaction and they already don't like you. While waiting in the lobby, you decided to take a look around. To say the plex was overwhelming was an understatement. The lobby was large with two gift shops, multiple escalators, and a large statue of a bear with a microphone. You assumed that was the namesake animatronic, Freddy. You could only imagine what the main Pizzaplex was like if this was the lobby. Engrossed in your surroundings, you didn't even notice someone behind you until you felt a hand touch your shoulder. Shocked, letting out a small shriek, you whipped around to see a man around your age in a security uniform. Seeing you get startled by him, the guard chuckled to himself before removing his hand from your shoulder. Who are you? You managed to stutter out as you caught your breath. Oh, the man exclaimed as he reached into his pocket and pulled out a name tag. As he pinned the tag to his uniform, he said, I'm Isaac, the head daycare security guard. Isaac was a tall man with broad shoulders, blue eyes, and brown hair. He stood over you as he was much taller. His uniform was well fitted and with sleeves rolled up, showing his strong arms. My name is your name. you managed to say while looking at him. He chuckled. I figured that since you're the only one here and Vanessa told me you were waiting in the lobby. You let out a small laugh, trying not to be awkward. You felt much more at ease talking to Isaac than Vanessa. Maybe you'll have better success making friends with Isaac than you did with her. So the daycare is this way. We gotta hurry a bit since it's getting close to opening, Isaac said as he started walking away. Not wanting to be left behind, you quickly followed suit. He took you through the employee hallways. You made sure to mentally keep track of where you were, so you could always find your way next time. As you walked through the corridors, Isaac made sure to explain the different areas as you passed by, while also making small talk in between. Although you felt bad, you gave vague answers to his questions. You didn't feel quite comfortable yet sharing details about yourself, especially anything that related to your past. Isaac seemed to pick up on your anxiousness when any questions came up about your history. He didn't make any comment about it, although, uh, he didn't make any comment about it, although, just had a curiosity in his eye whenever you gave vague answers. Soon you entered a room with a catwalk. There was a song playing on loop up top where you were. It was cheerful and fun, and you admitted to yourself that you liked it. There's two ways to get into the daycare. Most of the time we just use the big doors, but I thought since it's your first day, we should go down the fun way, Isaac said as he motioned towards the entrance of a slide. Slide into fun, a sign said above the slide. You were a bit nervous, but after swallowing, anxiously you anxiously slid down the slide. The rainbow flashes of colors, almost almost disorienting you going down. But you were having a blast as you giggled. Soon you shot off the slide into a large ball pit. You waited a moment, expecting Isaac to follow suit, but no one came down the slide. Isaac? You called up the slide, but nobody answered. You turned around and slowly started making your way through the ball pit. It reminded you of playing as a kid, and you couldn't help but have a smile and giggle as you walked through the multicolored balls. Soon you came to an opening in the ball pit and saw the way to get out. But to the right, you looked up and saw a set with a castle with clouds on it. On top, you saw something strange. Up top on the castle was a slender figure dancing around. They had a strange mask on that showed a crescent moon, with the gold filling the rest, and golden rays around the mask. As they twirled and danced, the yellow and orange striped pants jingled along with the ruffles at the waist of their pants. You could hear bells jingle as they spun. Suddenly the figure, as they twirled on the edges of the castle, caught you staring from down below, causing them to stop, making them fall off. You let out a squeak as seeing them fall into the pit shocked you. Wading through the ball pit, you tried to go where you saw the figure fall. As you made your way over, you gasped as suddenly you felt two arms reach up out of the ball pit and grab you from behind. Quickly, you turned around to face by whoever grabbed you as as you're now picked up off the ground. New friend! New friend! You hear joyfully yelled as you're swung around. After taking a moment to process what just happened, you realize the figure you saw before was the one who grabbed you and is now currently twirling you around. You stare into the jingling and smiling face of the figure, understanding now that they are not human. You knew that the Pizzaplex was home to many animatronic creatures, but you didn't expect them to be so advanced. Suddenly, the animatronics stop spinning you, and you're left in a daze. They eye you up and down while still holding you under their arms. Hey, wait a minute. Aren't you a little old for the daycare? They say as they tilt their head with a puzzled expression. You're too busy trying to recover from the spinning to answer. If this was a cartoon, you are sure you would have little birdies flying around your head. Sundrop, put your name down, please. You hear an annoyed Isaac say as he opens the main doors to the daycare. As you finally catch your bearings, you're carried out of the ball pit and set back down on the ground. You look up as the animatronic stands towering over you. They must be 7 feet tall, taller than even Isaac, and you feel yourself becoming slightly intimidated. As if sensing your anxiety, Sundrop hunches down to be more eye level to your height. You feel a bit more at ease now that he wasn't towering over you. This is the new daycare assistant. Your name. She'll be here to help run things around here. Try not to scare her off, please, said Isaac as he walked over to where you and Sundrop were. Hello? You managed to stumble out. My name is your name. I look forward to working with you. Sun didn't say anything at first, just staring at you, which made you a bit anxious. Did you somehow upset the animatronic already? You wondered. Soon, though, Sundrop broke into a huge smile. Wow, welcome to the daycare. We're going to have so much fun, they exclaimed. I can show you all the ropes of this place. Look there, some over there. Sun points to a series of rope nets in the large jungle play area. You couldn't help but giggle at the pun, which made Sundrop's smile grow wider. You can stop making you can make stupid puns later. I gotta show your name her uniform before the kids start showing up. Why don't you get ready for opening so we don't run late? Said Isaac as he rolled his eyes. Sun's smile faded slightly as he watched you get pulled away by Isaac. As your wrist is pulled by him, you turn around and give a sheepish wave goodbye. You felt bad that Isaac made fun of Sun's puns. You didn't have time to tell Sun that you liked it. As you walked away towards the employee area, you heard Sun faintly say, your name, under his breath. Chapter 2 Sun and Moon. Soon you and Isaac made it to the employee only area. He finally let go of your wrist and you rubbed it as it was a little uncomfortable being pulled like that. Sorry for dragging you out of there. If I hadn't, Sundrop would have dragged on and we'd run late, said Isaac as he grabbed a set of keys from his belt. Don't let Sunny Boy annoy you too bad while we're here. He didn't seem too bad to me, you replied, smiling slightly, thinking about the silly pun Sun made. Just wait and see, he mumbled as he opened a locker next to you. This will be your locker. Your uniform is inside. Sorry, it's a bit juvenile. You peer into the locker and see a colorful gesture-like costume. It was not what you were expecting as a uniform, but as you thought about it, it makes sense to match. It makes sense to match to Sundrop to keep the magic for the children. The costume co- consisted of a hat, top, fluffy pants, shoes, a ribbon which tied around your waist, and little bells on them. Each piece of clothing had a unique pattern, where on one side they were yellow and orange stripes, while on the other was blue fabric with stars. The yellow and orange side reminded you of Sundrop's outfit, although it puzzled you on the other side with the stars. What? Thank you. I'll get changed now, as I think I'm starting to hear kids go down the slide, you say as you grab the interesting costume. Isaac looked at his watch and furrowed a brow before sighing and smiling at you. I gotta go do another business we are opening up now. Sundrop will help you get settled in your duties, hopefully. I'll check on you later to see how you're doing, if I have time, he says as he begins to leave the employee area. Soon you're left alone as he rushes out the door. You decided to quickly get changed, as you don't want to leave Sun on their own to deal with the incoming children. As you get settled into the costume, you feel a bit tingy silly beholding yourself in such an outfit. Although it's a bit exciting doing something so different than what you're used to. As you stare into the locker mirror, you think to yourself, you sort of pull off such a ridiculous costume. Even made you look cute in it. You feel yourself blush slightly as you quickly close the locker door, putting your bag and phone inside before doing so. Hurriedly, you leave the employee area to go back to the daycare. As you open the door back to the daycare, you're greeted by children's laughter. Although the Pizzaplex had just opened, there were already so many children in the daycare. You see Sun holding up his arms horizontal as two children were swinging from them, all three of them laughing. Soon, though, Sundrops takes notice of you and stops, letting the children swing as he simply stares. You feel a bit nervous as he's staring at you, a blush and blush a bit before rubbing your cheek to steady your nerves. You feel a bit more at ease, though, when Sun gets a wide smile and laughs. You feel silly thinking that he was staring at you. As Sun goes back to himself, surely it must have been a small error causing him to act that way. Everyone, we have a new friend joining us today! He excitedly yells as he gestures to you to come over. Soon all the children were staring at you as you walked over to Sundrop. Having everyone stare at you makes you anxious, makes your anxiety come back, but you feel reassured as Sun puts a hand over your shoulder. Hello, everyone! My name is your name, you say while smiling. Come on, kids, let's show your name. How we greet new friends, laughs Sundrop. Soon all the kids get up while laughing and rush to you. They all go to hug you and nearly toppling you over as you giggle at the surprising event. However, before you can fall over, you feel someone's strong arms keep you steady. Sundrop is hugging you from behind as he places his head on top of yours. Oddly, it was his body pressed against you. Oddly, as his body presses against yours, you feel a warmth come from him. Instead of the cold feeling of metal you thought it would be like. You're so nice to hug, your name, you faintly hear Sundrop say under his breath. You start to blush a little. Suddenly, Sundrop lets go of you. The children follow suit while they're all laughing and giggling. It's time for arts and crafts! I have lots of paper and glitter glue, Sun yells as he picks up a child and walks over to the kids' table. You hold the hands of two kids as you follow. You feel a tingle of embarrassment as you stop blushing, thinking you must have misheard Sun's comment. After all, he is an animatronic. Why would he why would he even be able to say something like that? You spent a long time helping the children with their arts and crafts, along with Sundrop. It was nice talking with children and helping them. They would even tell you about Quartz's son, like how he can't stand messes, which makes sense, as when a kid would spill glitter or drop something, he would be right there to clean it up quickly. Though while doing the activity, you can't help but feel slightly uneasy, as every now and then you could swear you catch Sun just staring at you. But but you put that thought in the back of your mind, as there's no reason he would do that. It just must be in his programming quirk. You look up at the clock and realize it's almost noon. Checking the schedule, you see at noon there's a nap time for children. Okay, everyone, it's time for nap time. Go grab your pillows and blankets and find a nice place to sleep, you cheerfully explain, clapping your hands. Most of the kids leave the table and go run off to grab their pillows and blankets, but few of the kids look a bit nervous and slowly follow the others. This puzzles you, although you write it off as the kids just not wanting to go to sleep. Although when you look at Sundrop, he's also quite nervous, which concerns you. Is everything okay, son? You ask, peering at him. He fidgets with his hands as he say, maybe we could skip nap time today and continue arts and crafts, or maybe we could play tag. You turn your head a bit in confusion. Why would he be against nap time? You put your hands on your hip and say, son, it's important for kids to have some rest. Nap time is very important and we can't just skip it. We can do those things after, though. You gave him a smile and put your hands on his shoulder. He looks at you in a way, puzzling you, on what he's thinking. Yeah, is all he can say in reply. You and him spend a few minutes helping the children get settled for nap time. A few of the rowdy children are a bit more difficult to get laying down, but you eventually do after promising to play a game with them after nap time. Some looked anxious the whole time, although slightly worrying you as him not being as cheerful, his cheerful self made you anxious. Okay, I think that's everyone settled, you mumbled as you get the last child to lay down. As you turn around expecting to see Sundrop, you're shocked to see he's not there. You didn't notice him walk away while you were putting the last child down. Scanning the room, you try to see where he could have gone off to, but you still couldn't see where he went. You cocked your head in confusion. Another odd behavior by Sun. You noticed some of the kids start to get antsy, so you decided it's time to start nap time before any of them try to get up. Walking over to the daycare desk, you look for the light switch to the room. After searching a few seconds, you find it, but before you can flick it, you scan the room one last time for Sun. Where could he have gone? You say under your breath. You sigh as you flicker the light switch off. You could just find him while the kids nap. As soon as the lights fully go out, you hear something get knocked over a bit far away, but to the right of you, it's a bit too dark to see clearly. So you grab your flashlight that sat on the desk in front of you. The flashlight was small and not that bright, but it helped you guide through the area, making sure not to step on or wake the sleeping children around you. You slowly walk towards the area you heard the sound. It's nap time. I can help you settle down or get you some water, you whispered, thinking it must have been one of the kids getting up, causing the sound. As you got to the area you heard the noise, you surprisingly found no child in the area. You bent down and noticed there were toys knocked over on the floor. Suddenly you felt a chill, and the nerves on your back tensed up. You quickly shone your flashlight around but saw nothing. But you had this unmistakable feeling of someone watching you. It made the goosebumps on your arm and back raise up as you tried to shake the feeling, but your nerves quickly started to make you anxious. Son? Are you there? You asked into the darkness. All you got in reply, though, was a deep, hoarse chuckle. It made your heart race as you could hear the slight jingling of bells around, almost circling you. You instinctively backed up, but you soon fell to the ground on your butt as you run into the knocked over toys from before. The flashlight is knocked from your hand and slides on the floor. It's not funny, son. Where are you? You asked again into the darkness. You're only greeted with another low chuckle. About to turn to try and grab the flashlight, you're startled by something big landing in front of you. Anxiously, you slowly looked up to see an animatronic. It looked almost like Sundrop, but all the gold has been replaced by black. His clothing pattern replaced with blue and yellow stars, and his rays gone replaced with a sleeping cap. Son? you managed to say, continuing to stare up at the creature. The animatronic suddenly bent down to your level on the floor, putting their hands on either side of you. Your chest tightened at the sudden action. Naughty, naughty. Shouldn't you do a little research where you work? They chuckled with their raspy voice. I'm no son. You suddenly backed up from them, but they crawled towards you with every foot you made back. You racked your brain on who this animatronic could be. No one's ever mentioned them to you, not even Isaac. Suddenly you remember the catwalk where the slide was. You weren't paying attention, but there was a screen you remember now with two figures on it. Sundrop and Moondrop, you whispered, spat out. Your back hit against something hard as you said the name. You glanced back and realized you hit the wall. You look back at Moondrop only to realize he's nearly on top of you, their face inches from yours. You can't help but stare into their red glowing eyes. You hear a low chuckle as they say, Good, your name. You can't help but blush a little by Moon's tone. You turn your head trying to hide it. You feel torn between the heat in your face versus the fear in your heart. Suddenly, you have a chill sent up your spine as you feel a metal finger trace down your throat. You try not to, but you shake a little as the robot slowly caressed your neck with their hands, slowly putting their hands around your neck. You close your eyes, trying to calm yourself from the fear of what was happening. Miss, your name? I can't sleep. You hear suddenly from behind Moondrop. He suddenly lets go and snaps his attention to the little girl behind him. Naughty, naughty, he says angrily. You're not supposed to be up, little one. Quickly gets off and goes to the child and picks him up under their arm. You can hear small sniffles as the little girl starts to cry. The sound of the little girl crying snaps you from your scared and shocked phase. You quickly get up and nervously walk over to Moon and the child. You think you're going to have to save the little girl from the horrific punishment, but you see Moon trying to gently swing the girl and sing a quiet lullaby. Unfortunately, due to the way he was holding the little girl, his deep raspy voice and his glowing red eyes do not calm the girl down. Can I have her? You ask, looking up at Moon. You're scared. You're scared that he might get mad, but he slowly lets you take the girl in your arms. You have to be more gentle, you say as you softly rub the girl's back. He doesn't say anything and only stares at you gently, trying to calm the girl down. You start to hum a lullaby as you turn and reach down to grab the flashlight you dropped. When you look back up, you see Moon is gone, although you can still feel him watching you. Slowly, you make your way to where the girl was supposed to be sleeping, softly singing to her as you walk. The girl stops crying as you slowly tuck her back into her napping spot, gently pulling the blankets over you, gently pulling the blankets over her as you gently pat her head, continuing to sing. Soon she falls back asleep, and you finish humming your song. You take a deep breath and sigh of relief, although you still feel anxious knowing Moon was watching you, hiding somewhere. You made your way back to the daycare desk, looking at the time on the computer. You still had over 40 minutes before nap time was over. Your chest stiffened at the thought of what just happened with Moondrop. Worried worried that it might happen again. You still could not see where the animatronic had gone, only hearing the faint jingle of bells and his deep chuckle every now and then. You rested your forehead on the desk, needing something physical to lay against to help you calm down. You slowly released the tension in your body as your eyes felt heavy. The emotional uh, the emotional adrenaline taking its toll on you. You struggled to keep your eyes open, soon drifting into sleep. Naughty, naughty, could be heard chuckled, although you were not awake to hear it. Alright, so I'm going to stop there, and then I will make a new video on chapter 3. I hope you guys enjoyed those. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please support the channel by liking the videos, subscribing to the channel, and clicking that bell notification. Thank you guys so much for watching and reading this with me. I hope you guys liked it. Please comment down below. Thank you guys so much, and